Hello, everybody. It's time. Ignore that just happened. It's time for me to litigate some stream games. So the premise here is that when I finished Infinite Wealth, Like a Dragon, that one, I realized it was the 64th game that I had played on stream, and being that it is March, I thought to myself, I can make a tournament out of this. So I basically randomized all of the games that I've finished on stream, put them into a bracket that will not upset anybody, not even me. And I'm going to have a tournament to determine empirically what the best game I've played is. So here's my graphic. I did post in my Discord server the full bracket if you want to make your own and try to figure out where I'm going to go with it. But yeah, let's start. So, first matchup. It is It Takes Two versus Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. I've also made these fun graphics, including all of the art that I've done over the years, which is quite a bit. It only took me a few hours, it's fine. So, It Takes Two. I played that game with Boko. It's like a two-player puzzle adventure kind of game about divorce. And the gameplay part of it was very, very fun. And the story part of it was very, very bad. And I still think that those two should have just stayed divorced in the end and worked it out. But because they were absolutely terrible for each other, and it didn't seem like their relationship actually improved at all. They just remembered the good times without actually solving any of their current problems. And the second game, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, is one of my favorite games that I've ever played. I played it with Boko and Swissy. It was a 1 to 3 player action RPG kind of thing based on Final Fantasy. You go through a level, fight a boss at the end of it, and I had such a good time with that game. Unfortunately, my friends didn't like it as much as I do. Boko played it with me again, kind of recently. But because this is my tournament and not theirs, I'm gonna say Stranger of Paradise wins. So congratulations to Stranger of Paradise for making it on to round 2.
Oh, so this is how it's gonna work, I see.
Yeah, basically. All right.
Also, I'm here. I didn't get an introduction because Steven hates minorities.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I was oppressing the straight. That's my bad.
As a straight white man, cis even, yeah. I will have you know that this is going in my letter.
That's fair. Hi, also Josh is here. I forgot to put him on the stream because I don't actually have him on this. Don't actually have him on the screen.
Quietly.
Yeah,
been waiting.
If you have any,
you don't have to put me on the stream. It's fine.
Yeah, if you have any comments, you can feel free to tune in. I know you didn't really have a horse in that. I mean, I think you were there for part of It Takes Two.
I just hate the book. I hate that book, man, and I hate that he's on your little background in that one thing that you have.
Yeah, it's right. He's right up there.
I hate that guy.
Dr. Hakim.
He's my least favorite animated book man.
Dr. Hakim also sucks.
His
advice is terrible.
His advice is bad. I don't know. It feels like maybe that's the joke. It's like it's one of those like relationship advice books, but it was written by an idiot. It's like maybe that's the joke. I don't get it though. I thought it made me mad. He made me mad. But I counterpoint, the elephant death scene
is really
was phenomenal.
It's very, very funny, but also extremely fucked up.
It's very traumatizing. But if I did have one other side comment, I think if I could speak as an audience member,
sure.
I want to know a little bit more about. I think when you're going through the games, as an audience member, I don't really care too much about like what the game is, like what type of game it is. I just kind of want to know,
like how
what's your vibes with it?
Okay.
Be like, like It Takes Two, fun little puzzle game. Book fucking sucks.
Hate that bitch. Yeah, I gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Kind of do more of that well, let's move on to round 2 then. It's Escape Simulator, which we technically finished, versus Trine 2, which we did finish. There's a couple of games on here that are like, they're technically still releasing content for them, but I don't think we're going to play them again. whereas we finished the
Gotcha.
main game. So Escape Simulator is pretty
Gotcha.
good. Played that with Boko and Swissy. It's basically an escape room simulation game. We had some fun goofs in there. I enjoyed the little puzzles. Swissy dropped Swissy dropped the Earth at one point, and we had to restart the level because we couldn't figure out where it went.
Oh,
There was a lot of yelling involved because it's a cooperative puzzle game. You know how escape rooms. And then trying to...
that sounds miserable as someone who once played Portal co-op with somebody.
Might have been me.
It was. I wasn't gonna say that.
I'm trying to be
but,
nice,
like something about cooperative puzzles. Like unless it's like very much like this is just
like
for
straightforward.
goofs and gaffs. Yeah, or if it's like silly, you know.
Right.
But like if you're ever trying to actually make progress and requires like herding your friends like cats,
Yeah.
impossible.
So then trying to... It's a co-op puzzle
It's kind of
platformer.
puzzly too, right?
Yeah, it's a co-op puzzle
Nice.
platformer. You
Yeah.
plays three characters. You've got a wizard, a rogue, and a knight, and you have to make your way through 2D side-scrolling levels. I liked Trine 2 a lot more than Trine 1. I think they were both pretty good. Trine 3 was the bad one, and those are all on the list, so we'll get there. But
Just play a lot of Trine.
I don't remember much of Trine 2 is the only thing. I do think I liked it better than Escape Simulator, but I don't remember it very well, so it's probably not going to make it to round 3. But yeah, I had a good time with that. It's not the one I made a highlight video of. I think that was Trine 1, where it was me just trying to make my boxes as the wizard, and Swissy and Boko continually fuck up everything. But yeah, I think Trine 2 is going to move on to round 2. So I've got an actual like tournament bracket on a different window that I'm using to keep track of this, so I need to copy and paste in there. So, round 3. Well, match 3. It's Fire Emblem Engage versus Cassette Beasts. Fire Emblem Engage, mechanically, I think it's the most fun Fire Emblem game I've played. I really liked the Engage mechanics with, like, pairing up with the ghosts that give you better powers and stuff. Story-wise, it was mostly fine. It was pretty hype at the end, but it's one of those things, you know? Cassette Beasts, it's a kind of Pokemon-esque sort of game. You have little guys, you capture them in cassette tapes, you transform into them and do fights. I liked Cassette Beasts a lot. It was probably the best not Pokemon game I've ever played. And that's kind of reductive.
Big sucker for Pokemon games. That's
sort of reductive, but it's I really liked like the way they did the elemental systems in that, where different elements have different interactions. So, if you use water on fire, it gives them, like, a doused status effect or something that makes their attack less. I think if you use wind on fire, it, like, powers them up. So, like, you have to be more careful about your elemental interactions and stuff. I thought the systems in that game were very cool. I think overall, I probably had more fun with Cassette Beasts. So I think that's going to have to make it to round 2, unfortunately. I did like Fire Emblem Engage a lot, but I don't think it's I don't think I liked it more than Cassette Beasts. Cassette Beasts was really good. So
you don't have to explain it to me.
Sorry, Fire
explain
Emblem.
it to God.
Explain it to God and the audience. All right.
You don't have to care about the audience. I never do.
Next
not even
round.
that guy, Molo guy.
Oh, he's not here yet.
Oh, we did technically play that.
It's Golden Sun The Lost Stage versus Famicom Detective Club. Golden Sun was a very good RPG, and Famicom Detective Club is probably the most terrible game, mystery, like point-and-click adventure game I've ever played. And The Missing Heir wasn't even my favorite of the two of them. Mostly just that they didn't bother adapting the mechanics at all, so it has that point-and-click thing where you can just get lost for a while because you're not sure what specific thing you're supposed to point-and-click at. There's no, like, hint system in the game at all, so I ended up for both of these having to look up a walkthrough for when I got inevitably stuck several times. The mystery itself was, like, fine in The Missing Heir. I think the other game was better. But I didn't like the Famicom Detective Club games very much. So congratulations, Golden Sun 2. You've got an easy buy into round 2. I also liked our party members in Golden Sun 2.
Straightforward.
That was the one with height, width, depth, and girth.
Ah, yes.
Good
that
times.
was fun.
All right, Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes versus We Were Here. Metal Gear Solid: Twin Snakes is not as good of a video game. It was the first one, so you know.
Are you sure
they
you're
did their
just not
best?
Fucking bad.
I was bad at it. That's also true. But if you recall the one boss fight where I stood in one place and shot a rocket launcher at a helicopter over and over again and never got hit and just won.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I really liked Twin Snakes, though. It was fun. The cutscenes were goofy. There was tons and tons of muff. You know, all the good stuff.
Tons of muff. I mean, like, foundationally. I think, like, the characters are pretty funny. The gameplay did look real bad, though.
Yeah, it was a little janky. It's with the... God, what... Was that a PS1 game? It might have been a PS1 game. I don't remember. Twin Snakes was a remake for the GameCube, but it was, you know, I don't think they changed much outside of the cutscenes and the being able to do first person, which wasn't in the original. We Were Here is like a co-op puzzle game. We were in 2 different parts of a map. Basically, I played this with Boko. You, like, one person is doing stuff in one place and one person is doing stuff in the other place, and you have to, like, cooperate to get through this castle. And I died a few times in the cold because Boko couldn't tell me how to do chess fast enough. I don't think We Were Here was bad. It was also very short, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but I think I did enjoy Twin Snakes more. So, Twin Snakes, moving on to round 2.
Get out of here, We Were Here. You were here, haha.
You were here.
Get fucked.
All right. Match number 6. It is Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE. It's not called hashtag, actually. I think it's Sharp. Sharp FE Encore versus Chrono Trigger. I genuinely enjoyed a lot of Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It had a lot of, like, you know, anime bullshit. But the music in it was extremely good, actually. I know Boko's not here, so she can't talk about how much she hates J-pop, but I like J-pop a lot.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure listens to about 3 genres of music if you don't count all of the nonsense of, like, well, this is this subgenre. And listen, as a techno fan, I can say that, because do you know what I have to put up with on Spotify, where they're like, this is dark electronica bounce Brazil house or whatever, and I'm like, what? It's what now? It's nonsense. You know that old meme that, like, Facebook boomers would send that was bad, where it was like valid and there's a big circle and everything else is labeled as mental illnesses? That's me with most genres of music, where I'm like, this is rock, and if you want to say hard rock or metal, sure, but, like, eventually you get to a subsection that is just nothing, and I'm like, I don't understand anymore. But yes, continue on.
But Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I also really like the combo system in it. It's fun when you do a hit and then your entire party does follow-ups. That's always fun. I think Chrono Trigger was a better video game. Chrono Trigger is one of the most fun JRPGs I've ever played.
It's so good, dude. I even like. Listen, I like Chrono Trigger, and I hate 90% of JRPGs. Apparently, I used to think I liked JRPGs, and then I played.
And then we watched me play some of them.
I watched you play more, and I went, "Oh, do I just like Chrono Trigger?"
Maybe, but anyway,
I think that might be true.
Chrono Trigger, welcome to round 2. Match number 7. It's Fire Emblem versus Famicom Detective Club. The Girl Who Stands Behind. I liked The Girl Who Stands Behind more. It had a little bit more of a. I think the mystery of it was a little bit better. It still sucked though. Same problems as the other Famicom Detective Club game, where they made a new game and did not bother adapting it for a modern audience. I think these games came out in, like, the 80s, if I remember right. It was either the 80s or, like, early 90s. And then Fire Emblem was the Game Boy Advanced game. It was technically it's Fire Emblem 7, but it was the Blazing Blade, but it was just called Fire Emblem in the U.S. I think that was the first one that they shipped to the U.S. was the Game Boy Advance game, and I liked it a lot. It's got a lot of really solid mechanics. Story is pretty good. It's the origin of Drunk Lindis. Had a good time with that one. It was one of the early games, but, you know, it's not Famicom Detective Club, so it wins. Might not make it to round 3, but it's making it to round 2. Congratulations, Fire Emblem.
Good job, Fire Emblem.
Match number 8, Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones versus Hitman 2016. I did like the Sacred Stones. It was basically the same as, mechanically, it was about the same as the other Game Boy game, so... There's that. Hitman 2016 is such a fun fucking game, though. Like
Hitman, man. Just like the genre. I said the genre. The whole, like, series is just really a good time. You can even play Blood Money, I think, in current year, and it's still pretty fun.
Yeah, Hitman was the origin of the Spaghetti Man for me, where there was that one, like, level where you have to go down into, like, a lab, like, sneak in there to, like, destroy a genophage or something. And it's not genophage, that's Mass Effect, but you know what I mean.
I was like, wait a second. You had to kill a scientist Solarian first. It was crazy.
But I snuck into that lab, and then people kept on seeing me, so I just had to keep on picking up the same can of spaghetti that I had and beaning people with it over and over again.
The great thing about the Hitman games is you can play them very straight and, like, reload your saves, like what I did when I played the games, or you can go absolutely goofy clown mode the instant you're seen, and just begin, like, hitting people with, like, the silliest things that you can find.
I think 2016. I think 2016 is also the game I played where. So I had, like, that mission, right? I had the Spaghetti Man mission, right? I also had a mission where I literally, like, walked up, got to a high place, sniped the guy, and then walked out in, like, 3 minutes.
Yep.
Like...
That's it, man.
It's best incredible. And the worst. It's crazy. And then there was also the hotel level where I was stuck in that one hotel room for, like, half an hour because infinite guys kept on coming in and having to get wrenches thrown at them. But yeah, I think Hitman's gonna win this one overall. So... Congratulations, Hitman. Next up, we've got the worst Final Fantasy game versus Pokemon Ranger. I really hated Final Fantasy 2. They did a weird thing in Final Fantasy 2 where instead of, like, having jobs, all of your different weapons and spells had their own, like, level that you raised by using them. Which, I don't think that's bad necessarily. It was kind of a weird thing. But also... it had enemies that with their basic attack could paralyze you, so sometimes you would just get stun locked and die if the enemy is faster than you. And that happened to me at least 3 times. And it was in an area that you have to go through, and it's random encounters. Pokemon Ranger is pretty fun. It's alright. I think... It's one of those things where I think, like, I was definitely playing it, like, on a tablet on my computer and not on original hardware, so it was, like, a little bit jank. But
that's all you gotta circle around them, right?
Yeah, so, like, game's perfectly playable. I had a good time with it. I don't think it's, like, the greatest game I ever played, but I also don't think the first Pokemon Ranger is the best one. I really like Shadows of Olmia, but I haven't played that one again yet. But, you know what? It's not Final Fantasy 2. Bye, Final Fantasy 2. You might not make it very far, Pokemon Ranger, but you gotta buy it in the first round. That's the power of random, baby.
That's the power.
All right, next up, Human Fall Flat versus Pokemon Shield. This is one you were actually on.
I was on Shield.
Human Fall Flat.
Was Shield the most recent one we did, right?
Yes, that was the one from like a couple months ago.
I gotta tell you. Well, you know, you do your Human Fall Flat thing.
So, Human Fall Flat's a game I played with Boko and Swissy, and probably will continue playing someday when Swissy comes back from the war. But it's really fun. It's really goofy. It's like a physics-based platformer that you can technically play the whole game solo, but I think it's more goofy if you play with friends. I really enjoy Human Fall Flat. I think it's very good. I can't believe they're still releasing content for it, considering they've already announced the second one, like a year ago. But they're still putting out free levels for it every few months. It's crazy. Pokemon Shield is a fine Pokemon game. I think we had some fun moments in it, but it wasn't terribly good story-wise. Mechanically, I mean, it's Pokemon. It's fine.
It's Pokemon, yeah.
Mechanically,
I
it's
gotta say,
Pokemon.
it's
I always like
probably
Pokemon,
the
but
weakest
the story is bad.
Pokemon story I've ever like experienced. Again, after like Emerald days, I fall off very hard in what Pokemon games I've played. But like even the other ones we played, like we played White, I think.
Yeah, I like
and like
Black and
that
White
felt
are very
more.
good.
This one almost didn't feel like a Pokemon story somehow. I don't really know how they pulled that off yet, but it felt like you were like, it felt like a Pokemon story was happening, but like
someone
you
else
weren't actually in it.
Until
you were
right
like
at the
over
end.
there, and then you go and do like one thing that the game like, you know. And I'm not trying to say this as like it's a bad thing, but the game, I feel like the game shouldn't hold your hand through the one big thing that you do. Like, that was very weird to me.
Yeah,
that the game was
sure.
like, oh, you're an idiot baby, baby. Which, you know, babies do play the game, sure, but
yeah, it's a hard thing with Pokemon, right? Like
strange.
it's a game for children, and they have to make it so that children can play it every time. But I've been playing Pokemon for 20 years, and I'm pretty familiar with it at this point.
I think the thing is like, I think the problem specifically was the fact that like in that like end fight, you weren't like actually given any freedom to do anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like your inputs literally didn't matter.
One guy, and then the dogs showed up. It didn't help that the one guy we threw in was Dorian, who could do no damage.
Yeah, but
but
you don't even get to like control the dogs, really.
Yeah, no, the dogs just show up and do their own thing.
They just do their own. Like, I think that's the bad part. I think the story would have been much improved if they just gave you the dogs, and then you throw out the dogs, and it makes the fight like easy enough that a child could do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That would have been better. It would
have been different if you could control the
you're
dog.
Gonna get Deus Ex Machina right here and now, idiot.
Alright, all this to say, I think Human Fall Flat is the winner for me. I definitely had more fun with Human Fall Flat than Pokemon. Alright, next up, it's the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative versus Yakuza 0. Nirvana Initiative is the one where you dipped out because you couldn't handle the silly anymore, which is fair. I think it's just not your vibe. Yakuza 0 is, I think, the game we were playing when the Cum Wizard discussion came up. That's not the only thing about it. That's not the only thing about it.
We bullied Swissy into running into bicycles. Does that count? No,
that was Judgment, and we'll get to that. That's on the list.
Damn.
That's on the list because technically it was a game that was finished on the channel, even though I didn't play it. I like both of these games a lot. I think that I had more fun with Nirvana Initiative because honestly, so the most recent Like a Dragon, the Yakuza games, the most recent ones are like a turn-based RPG, and the old ones are like a beat-em-up, and I honestly don't like the beat-em-up all that much. There's like not enough of just an extra... I think Zero's a little bit better than Kiwami was for me, which Kiwami is a remake of 1, because being a remake of 1, it doesn't have as much stuff going on mechanically. Zero was like a new game, so they put more stuff in it. Like, you would play as 2 different protagonists also, and they both have their own fighting styles, which I think is really cool. But I think I liked Nirvana Initiative more, just overall. I think Yakuza 0 is a very good game, though. So, sorry, Yakuza 0.
Stop apologizing, Steven.
You lose to silly bullshit.
No, don't apologize to video games, Steven. They should have been better if they wanted you to win.
That's true.
If they wanted your approval.
All right, next
Remember,
up...
you're the consumer. Almighty dollar.
Next up is the Great Ace Attorney Adventures versus Stray. I keep on forgetting that I played Stray, I'll be honest. Stray is that game where you play as a
game?
Yeah, you play as a cat in like a cyberpunk robot future where everybody's robots. I really
I
like.
remember seeing that game and going like, everyone will forget about this in about 5 minutes.
Correct. I really did enjoy it. I thought the whole like story of the game was very cool. It's no great Ace Attorney Adventures though, which is one of the better Ace Attorney games that I've played. I don't think it's my favorite, but it's up there. I think it's probably my favorite that we've played so far. But I mean, I still like Apollo Justice more. But yeah, I thought Stray was a cute game. It was fun. Wasn't very long, but again, it's no great Ace Attorney Adventures, which is an Ace Attorney game, my favorites. And also one of the better ones. So yeah, sorry, Stray. Should have been better.
There you go.
All right.
Get them out of here. Remember, you're
up,
not insulting anyone. You're just telling them that they're worse than something better, and that's fine.
That's fine. We can't all be the best. That's what tournaments
we
tournaments
can't
are
all
about,
be winners.
baby.
That's what tournaments are.
All right,
Try again next year.
Try again next year. Maybe you'll get a better randomization next year.
Maybe get randomly put against something stronger.
All right.
I wonder too if you want to do this on an ongoing thing, and I know that I'm only saying this 30 minutes in, but do you think you're gonna like still remember these games enough, or do you want to like, are you gonna like give them some sort of notes or like a number or something so that you can remember them?
I have a pretty good memory for. I might like write some notes or something, but I mean, I do have a thing on a like Twitch side thingy that you can use that I've like written reviews for basically all the games that I've played. I think I've missed a couple of the recent ones just because I forget to update it sometimes. So like and I also still have a pretty good memory for like how most of these games made me feel, if nothing else.
Got it. Okay.
But next up, it's Yakuza Like a Dragon versus Genesis Noir. Yakuza Like a Dragon was my favorite game of 2019. Fuck, that was a long ago. And Genesis Noir was a... Ouch. Genesis Noir is like a...
half a decade.
Kind of... I don't want to call it a walking simulator, but it sort of kind of is. It's a very like artsy sort of game that I thought was very cool, but it's not... I didn't enjoy it super a lot. I thought it was a fun little like 6-hour game. Yakuza Like a Dragon is one of my favorite games I've ever played. So this is not fair to Genesis Noir, but bye, bitch.
It's not, Steven, I'm gonna kill you with a bat. It's not. It's a tournament. Of course, it's not fair. If it was fair, that wouldn't be a contest. Who would win? Who would win if it was fair? What do you mean?
Fair enough.
Steven, when you look at the basketball, there'll be cases where it's like, oh, this school with $5 and 3 guys is going up against Villanova or whatever. I don't exactly know how basketball works, but I know Villanova's a very good team. Like sometimes you'll have like the 32nd seed versus a really good seed. And the only difference here against real basketball is there's not going to be an upset because it's just you arbitrating. But like you don't, it is okay to be like, get shit on, kid.
Fair enough.
And that's what you should do. Get shit on, fucking New Orleans, whatever. You trash. No, you don't have to call them trash, of course. You trash.
So next up is Digimon Stories Cybersloth. Yes, I think. Well, technically half of it, but the second one was a separate game. So I finished it.
I see.
It took. This was the one where I took like a gear break in the middle.
Okay. Oh, that's what it was. I was like, I remember Steven playing that for like forever.
It took a while. I think until we finally finished Ace Attorney 3, it was the game that took us the longest to finish. And by us, I mean me, because this one was just me. Versus Pokemon White, which was our worst Nuzlocke. It went so bad. I had a good time with it, but that was the one where we lost so hard. It started off bad because I don't...
incredible outcome.
Yeah, it's the only time we've ever failed one, and it was real rough.
Listen, who could have seen that Sigilith coming?
Who could have seen it? Like, it started off bad because I didn't realize there was a thing that was preventing us from getting XP, but it didn't improve from there once I fixed it. I don't know. I think I still had more fun with Pokemon White overall. I mean, we didn't take a year gap in between playing Pokemon White, so there's that. I don't think Digimon
I
Cyber...
thought it was pretty good.
I don't think Digimon was bad. I think I just didn't vibe with it as much as I was expecting to. I'm just not a Digimon person.
Which
Never
makes it
had
trash. Get out of here.
Makes it trash. Get out of here.
Which makes it trash.
Pokemon White.
Throw it in the garbage. Let's go Pokemon White. The
All right.
only Pokemon game with the balls to just kick us right square in the dick.
Over and over again. All right, next up it's Pokemon
Man, we
Platinum versus
really
Phoenix
struggled.
Wright Ace Attorney.
Honestly, now this one's kind of unfair.
I think
But that's the tournament, baby.
that's the tournament, baby. Ace Attorney, the start of all of the Ace Attorneys, and I have always had so much fun playing the Ace Attorney games with you guys. Pokemon Platinum was good too.
It's pretty good.
I had a pretty good time with it. Pokemon Platinum was the birth of the Nuzlocke clause, or the Necromancy clause,
Necromancy clause.
which does give it some points, but I don't think I enjoyed it more than Ace Attorney, one of my favorite video games. So,
The first Ace Attorney has the advantage of not having fucking Clown Case in it.
Oh, don't worry, Clown Case is coming up, baby. It'll be in here
I hate
someplace.
that entire game is tainted for me because of Clown
I know.
Case.
I don't even
It is
like
the one thing I remember the game like.
the rest of the
having
cases
in
in that game are like fine, and Clown Case is the worst.
Clown Case is the worst thing I've ever felt, smelt, or tasted.
All right, next up it's Pokemon Fire Red, which was not technically a stream, but shut up, versus Jack Move.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a stream.
No, that
It
was back.
our little.
That was back when we were recording on fucking join.me or something.
Yeah. It was great. I'd record my audio separately and then send it to you. You
Classic.
remember that?
I do remember that.
I had to have Audacity open to record my audio.
Good times.
Wow.
All right, and then Jack Move, which is a neat little JRPG I finished a couple months ago. I really liked Jack Move. It was pretty fun. Pokemon Fire Red, it's a Pokemon game, and I don't think we were that funny yet. So there's also that.
Yet. Well, implies a lot there, doesn't it?
It does. I think I liked Jack Move more. Maybe it's recency bias, but also Pokemon Fire Red is... I honestly don't like the old Pokemon games that much anymore. They're mechanically not very good yet until, like, the DS games.
Interesting. Because, see, I love that era of Pokemon games. I mean, I guess my favorite ones are... No, because was Emerald...
Emerald was
before DS, right? Or was it DS?
Emerald was before the special split. Or before, like, the... Yeah.
I don't know. I love those games still. I think
like-
it's valid to dislike them, of course. And I don't know anything about Jack Move other than I gifted it to you for
You did.
5 schmeckles or whatever.
Money well spent,
It
as
was
far
on
as I'm
your
concerned.
it was on your list. Good old Xmas Steam exchanges.
Mm-hmm. All right, we are moving on to the second bracket, technically, we're on to now.
But I'm pretty sure I won that trade. So I think if that was for Christmas, I'm pretty sure you gave me Crab Game.
I think it was, yeah.
And who was the winner there? It's me, baby.
It's you. Tales of Symphonia versus Wildermyth. Again, Wildermyth is kind of a weird thing because it's not a typical game, but it is one that we did do at least 2 runs of and finished both. So there's that. It's basically like a kind of... The game tells us like a generated story sort of thing, and you play through it.
Oh yeah, it was
3
that
different
one you
classes.
guys had.
Yeah, I played it with Boko and Swissy, and then Tales of Symphonia. I was expecting to like it more, but it was fine. I had a good time with it. There were some real good bits in there. The combat I wasn't super wild about, but I do think Tales of Symphonia is a much better game than Wildermyth. I think Wildermyth is fun, but I think the problem is that just sort of based on the nature of it, I think it will get old eventually. Because eventually you're going to start running into the same events over and over. I think even while we were playing it, we ran into the same events a couple of times. Which I think they're always expanding it, but it's just one of those things where, like, it can only pull off the magic trick for so long, you know? But yeah, I think
Makes sense.
I think Tales of Symphonia. Oh, I scrolled way too far down on my Google Drive, Google Sheet that I'm doing this tournament on.
Oh, I see.
Alright, so Wildermyth out. Get out of here, you trash.
You trash.
Alright, next up, it's Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth versus the Somnium Files. Unfair, perhaps, because, again, Infinite Wealth is one of my favorite games I've ever played, and maybe that's recency bias. I really liked the Somnium
Yeah, a little
Files,
bit.
but I think Infinite Wealth is a much better game.
Well, yeah. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Sorry, maybe next year, the Somnium Files. Probably not.
Well, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth will still be there, so.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Here's a horse you have no race. Wait, no. Here's a race you have no horse in. Danganronpa 1 versus Danganronpa 2.
A horse, I have not even a race of this horse.
You don't have a race with this horse at all.
This is something about a bear. That's what I got for you. There's a cowboy? Does that help?
There wasn't actually a cowboy. That's just the voice Swissy did for the guy.
Wait, the cowboy is not in the game?
No, he's not a real cowboy.
That's one of two things I know about the game. Well, cowboys can be rich. Wow.
That's fair. Wow. I guess he's got a bolo tie. Does that make him a cowboy?
No. Not on its own, at least.
But I liked Danganronpa 2 much better than Danganronpa 1. I think Danganronpa 1 is quite good. I think Danganronpa 2 is an improvement in every way, and I like the characters more. So, you know.
There you go.
There it is.
Clearly
it is unfortunate that they were
trash.
against each other in the first round, but that's just how it goes. Astral Chain versus Final Fantasy 3. Astral Chain was not very fun.
If you give this to Astral Chain, I'm gonna riot, dude.
Final Fantasy 3 was pretty good. Astral Chain was not very fun at all.
Astral Chain, bad mechanics, bad characters. Don't understand the story.
I don't know. Maybe if I played Astral Chain again, which I'm not going to, I would like the mechanics a little bit better, because I kind of like action games a little bit more now than I did at the time. But probably not. It had Kyle. Astral Chain had Kyle. Remember Kyle?
No. I refuse to remember Kyle.
But yeah, Final Fantasy 3. Of the NES era games, it was the best one. On account of being the last one. Brock the Investigator versus Trine 4 the Nightmare Prince. Trine 4, for Trine 3 they made it 3D instead of like 2D, and it wasn't great. Trine 4 they put it back to 2D and it was pretty good. We had a good time with that one. Brock the Investigator is like a point and click adventure kind of thing. I found it largely boring until right at the end where it suddenly got very interesting is the problem. I thought I would like it more, but then I didn't. So I think I'm going to give this one to Trine 4 the Nightmare Prince. There's some stuff like there's time travel stuff happening in Brock the Investigator right at the end, but I don't think the intrigue was enough to like keep me in it the whole time. And the mysteries that were in it were like fine, but not super crazy or anything. But yeah, Trine 4, congrats. Trine 1 versus Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. This one feels obvious to me.
It's pretty obvious.
Trine 1 was fine. Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations was the third one. That game is really
good. Quite good. The only thing I don't like about it is how much it leans on the whole ghosts.
Yeah, it's weird that there's an exorcism in the last case, but overall, I think it's really good.
See, I was even okay with the exorcism, and like I don't know, it was something to do with the fact that like the whole story hinged on knowing who possessed whom at when. That I feel like that should have played a smaller role than it did. But and
I think Goto is also one of my favorite characters. He's great.
Goto's great. He's such a bastard.
Final Fantasy 1 versus Trine 3 the Artifacts of Power. Talked about this a little bit. You said
Trine 3 was the bad one.
Yeah, Trine 3 was a 3D game, and Trine 3 was also not finished. They ran out of budget and didn't finish the game. So, like, they talk
Pretty
about
funny.
you have to get the 3 artifacts of power, and I think you get the first one before the game ends. It's really funny, too. In Trine 4, they just put in some dialogue about, like, stuff they did after the game ended to get the rest of it. They just, like, hand wave it a little bit, like, it didn't matter. It was fine. We did some weird stuff. But yeah, Final Fantasy 1 wins on account of being a finished video game.
Always a strong start.
All right. Where? Oh boy, where am I? Okay, hold on. I just have to look for the ones where I have 2 images in them. There we go. All right. No, hold on. I'm missing one. There we go. Judgment versus Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. So I played Realm Reborn with Boko and Ezzy, and was it just those 2? I think it was.
Probably.
And then technically Swissy played Judgment, but I was there for all of it. I think A Realm Reborn is the weakest of the Final Fantasy IV expansions, which is unfortunate because it's the first one. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in there, but I think it gets way better after, like, Heavensward, which we never got to. And I would count that as a separate game anyway, because it's like a whole second thing. So if we ever go back to it, Heavensward is going to score quite highly in this contest, I imagine, because Heavensward is my favorite expansion. But we didn't do that. We only did the first one. And Judgment is a very good, like, detective noir game. I really enjoyed it. I think that Tak is very cool, and I love Kaito, who's like Yakuza assistant guy. All very solid. Judgment is going to be the winner on this one for me. So let me copy paste that there. All right. Paranormosite: The Seven Mysteries of Honjo versus Dragon Quest XI: Echoes of an Elusive Age. Let me get a drink really quick. Jesus. I'm dying. Okay. So, Dragon Quest XI was very fun. I had never played a Dragon Quest before outside of the Builder games, and I was very satisfied. It did do a weird thing where credits hit, but there was more story. So, like, after you guys had not been on the stream anymore, I did a few more doing the post-game, and they wrapped up a lot of stuff that was not wrapped up in the main plot of the game when we had credits.
It is weird how they handled some of the story stuff, and like, or at least the side story stuff, I guess.
Like,
not like bad weird, just like different than most
different
games,
than I was expecting, yeah. Because, like, we hit credits and I went, okay, that's it. But then it, like, there's an entire, like, final act after the credits, basically, that we just didn't do, and I did some of. But it also is weird because it involves time travel, so it undoes some of the characters' like character growth, because you go back in time to before that happened. And then they grow in slightly different ways. It's really weird. Like, Hendrik doesn't get his whole thing. He basically, like, you cut whatever Hendrik's buddy's name was off at the pass before he can get super powerful, and they resolve things differently there, and he becomes kind of like a half and half black and white sort of warrior guy. Which is cool, but I don't think it's as impactful as the character growth he had before. Like Veronica, she never gets or not Veronica. What was the older or the taller sister's name? I don't even remember. But she doesn't get that character growth either because Veronica doesn't die. You go back in time to before that happens. Whereas Paranormosite: The Seven Mysteries of Honjo was an extremely cool visual novel. That had some really good twists in it, and I liked it quite a bit. So I think I'm going to give it to Paranormosite on this occasion. I really liked Dragon Quest, but I liked Paranormosite more, so Dragon Quest is trash.
You trash.
You're trash. Hold on, I gotta turn that off for later. Alright, this one is unfortunate because I really liked both of these games. Chants of Sonar versus Tunic. They're both kind of similar, too, in the sort of game that they are. I guess Tunic is like a more combat-focused game, and whereas Chants of Sonar is more purely a puzzle game, except it randomly has some stealth mechanics in it in a couple parts. But both of them are kind of about, like, learning the language of the game, if that makes sense. Chants of Sonar quite literally, in that you go to different layers that all have their own unique languages. and Tunic.
It's
in
a
that you
discover
have
the
to-
mechanics and lore type game.
Yeah. I think Tunic had more going on, but I think I did genuinely enjoy Chants of Sonar more. They both had very satisfying, like, aha moments when you figured stuff out, but I think I had more of that in Chants of Sonar than I did in Tunic. That was me elbowing my water bottle, don't worry about it. So maybe you'll get a better
Dropping the
seed.
people's elbow.
Maybe you'll get a better seed next year, Tunic, but unfortunately this year you're trash.
Trash. Fortunately, you're trash. Trash.
Fortunately you're trash.
Fortunately for you, you're trash.
All right, A Hat in Time versus Danganronpa V3. I enjoyed watching Swissy deal with, because I played V3 like a couple of months before we did on stream, and then Swissy played it, and I pretended not to know anything as I do.
I see.
So watching
being
Swissy
a
deal with
trickster.
all of the like the twists in that game was very fun. And then A Hat in Time is not exactly co-op. Like, we could be playing the game at the same time, and that's how we did it. But largely, we didn't affect each other other than kind of being in the way of each other. But A Hat in Time is one of the, like, best puzzle platformer, like, collectathon sort of games that I've ever played.
Yeah.
I really liked Hat in Time a lot.
Even I know a little bit about Hat in Time. It's a very big deal.
Speedrunners really like that game, from what I hear.
Oh, yeah.
But I think A Hat in Time is going to take it on this occasion. So we've still got some Danganronpa up in the second round, but that's how the cookies crumble. You're trash. Yakuza Kiwami versus Ultra Despair Girls Danganronpa, another episode. The worst Danganronpa
There's more of
game.
these Danganronpas than I expected there to be.
There are 4, and
As
this
someone
one
that doesn't know
sucks
anything
ass.
about this. All right, great. Well, then this should be quick, right?
Yes. Yakuza Kiwami is it's Kiryu's first
You said
game.
it was fine.
It's a remake of 1. It's pretty good. It's fine. Ultra Despair Girls, I like the 2 main characters and their dynamic, and the rest of the game sucks so bad.
What sucks about it? Do you have an idea, or do you just...
So the
was just
the
poopy?
mechanics are like fine. It's they made it like a third-person shooter where like you have to like shoot the robot bears that are coming after you. Whereas the rest of these games are like, murder mystery visual novels. So that part was a little weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know
And
there
then
was
they-
a shooter in there.
And then they made a bunch of really uncomfortable choices with the side characters, most of which are like elementary school children that I did not enjoy.
Mm.
And
Sounds
then
bad.
randomly they make one of the characters that you're hanging out with for most of the game a pedophile, and I'm like, terrible. Ugh, I hate Ultra Despair Girls so much. The soundtrack is so good and the game is so bad. Anyway, yeah, trash. Bye. Terrible game. Final Fantasy VII versus Fire Emblem Three Houses.
This is an easy no dunk slamorama jamba for me.
Yeah, no, Final Fantasy VII is like one of the better games that I've played, I think.
An actual good JRPG. Incredible. Rarer than Diamond. But Diamonds aren't very rare. Rarer than... What's actually rare?
Rarer
Rarer than
metals.
a serial... Well, what, rare... hold on. Something... What's actually... Rarer than a neutron star hitting another neutron star, but Neil deGrasse Tyson's in between them, and he gets crushed to death.
Incredible. What an event that
That's a
would be.
little too specific. Listen, I don't dislike Neil deGrasse Tyson, but like, boy howdy, can you tell that he did not learn how to communicate
No.
ever. Like like he's a good communicator, I should say, but he's not like a good entertainer.
No.
So like, you'll have him like popping up out of nowhere to be like, well, actually, and it's like, shut up, Neil. You're gonna make everyone hate science, Neil.
Yeah, I liked Three
And
Houses
then
well
there's
enough.
that whole thing where he fucking he kept tweeting about kissing yourself only on the lips and mirrors.
Yeah, it's weird. I liked Three
Anyways,
Houses well
sorry.
enough. I liked the Dimitri path that we did. I thought he was a very good, like, tragic character. Final Fantasy VII's a way better game. Three Houses did a thing.
Have you
that,
played the remake?
I have not. I want to eventually. Do you want to be
Will
on
you
those?
play the remake? Oh, sure.
Tight. Yeah,
I liked the first game.
I've been
Hey, I
wanting
will
to do
be
them for a
sad that I
while. I
don't get to
own
do any
Integrate.
voices.
I just haven't played it yet.
I'm gonna be sad that I don't get to do my bad Barrett voice, but it is what it is.
But yeah, we'll definitely get to those at some point. I want to. I just haven't yet. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII takes this one. One of the best JRPGs of all time. What can you do? This one hurts me because I love both of these games so much, but it is an easy win for me. Tangle Tower versus Ghost Trick. Tangle Tower is a mystery game that I didn't know existed until a couple months ago, even though it's been out for a few years, and I'm now so looking forward to the sequel that's coming out this year. Like, it's crazy. Ghost Trick is one of the better mystery puzzle games I've ever played. It is so good. It was written by the same guy who did the Ace Attorney games, and I think Ghost Trick is his best work.
What is a Tangle Tower?
Tangle Tower is like it's
what
another
do you
like point-and-click murder mystery game.
I see. You do
play a
like
lot
your
of
point
this.
and clicks.
I do play a lot of point-and-click
Play a
murder
lot
mystery
of
visual
point and
novels.
clicks.
You
It's
know.
only murder mysteries.
But yeah,
Weird.
unfortunately, fortunately, Ghost Trick takes this one. Fuck you, Tangle Tower. I'll play your sequel eventually.
Maybe a sequel won't be trash.
Maybe a sequel won't be trash. Sorry, I don't actually think that. Sorry, Golden
Don't
Sun.
apologize.
Boko is going to be mad at me for this one. Golden Sun versus Return of the Obra Dinn. Return of the Obra Dinn is one of the coolest games I've ever played.
Obra Dinn's pretty cool. I actually watched a full Let's Play of it because I was like, neat.
The aha moments in Return of the Obra Dinn are some of the best I've ever had playing like mystery games. It's so much fun. Golden Sun is a very good JRPG. Return of the Obra Dinn is one of the best games I've ever played, or at least one of my favorites. So, you're trash, Golden Sun.
Trash. God.
And finally, we make it to the end of round 1. My favorite Final Fantasy 2D game versus the worst Ace Attorney game. What could it be? This is the one with the clown case, if you weren't sure.
Fucking hated it. Clown case, dude. So bad. So bad.
This is an easy round 2 for Final Fantasy IV. I barely remember the rest of that game as the thing. Like, it had the whole thing. Do you remember how the last case had that whole thing with the serial killer? And I thought, like, that part of it was very cool. Hi, Mall Guy. You're here for the end of round 1. Remember all that stuff? Completely overshadowed by the clown case for me. I thought the last couple cases of Ace Attorney 2 were really good. The clown case is so bad that it just ruins it for me.
I genuinely can't remember anything else about that game.
Yeah, the stuff I said just now was stuff I remembered as I was saying it. I was like, what else happened in that game? Because the first thing I think of is the fucking clown case every time. It had a really cool final act that I barely remember. Danganronpa 2 won, Molo Guy. So, and then, yeah, Final Fantasy 4, easy.
Don't watch the VODs, Malo Guy.
Don't do it. Never watch the VOD.
I definitely didn't insult you. Aggressively.
I ordered a good case and they gave me clown juice. Honk honk. Alright, so we're on to round 2. The Sweet 16. No, wait, it's 32, actually, because that's half of 64. The Fine 32. I don't think they have a name for that, so I'm making one up.
They call it something. It's not as big a deal as the Sweet 16, though.
No. So anyway, it's going to be, for the beginning in round 2, it's going to be Stranger of Paradise versus, I'm just going to have to scoot this over, Trine 2. Again, given that I can barely remember Trine 2, I think that Stranger of Paradise takes this one for me. It's Stranger of Paradise is just very good. I enjoy playing it. I enjoy beating people up. I enjoyed learning the counters and such. Was that because I complained about the seating, Josh? I don't know, Josh, was it?
What about what?
Not to watch the VOD for the seating stuff. Okay, so...
No. I don't remember what it was.
I don't either.
I think I was just in general being like, you never have to apologize to anyone, like the viewers. Fuck those guys.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
I believe I just said that, so I'm pretty sure it was based off of nothing, and I'll do it again.
Yep. Round 2 of round 2. Match 2 of round 2. It's Cassette Beast versus Golden Sun: The Lost Age. Now this one I actually have to think about, because mechanically I really enjoyed Golden Sun: The Lost Age. But I think Cassette Beast had a lot more going on, and I liked the creature design that's in it a lot. See, I intentionally, like, obviously while I was seeding this, I had to, like, look at the first round, so I had a fairly good idea of how a lot of them were going to go. I very intentionally didn't think about round 2 at all to make this more complicated for myself. Retro RPGs are goated. That's true. It's true. Did I like Golden Sun: The Lost Age? And is it just recency bias that I really like Cassette Beasts?
I mean, you're kind of a recency bias person. I think you should just lean into it.
I mean, you're not wrong. I think overall, if we're talking about fun, I think I had more fun with.
We're talking about fun.
I think I had more fun with Golden Sun, because there were a couple times where I was like, I kind of don't want to play Cassette Beast today. I don't think I ever had that with Golden Sun. I think I was always looking forward to seeing what was up with Golden Sun. It had more going on. It had a plot I cared about more. So I'm going to move up Golden Sun, and it'll probably lose in the next round to Stranger of Paradise, but we'll get there. Sorry, Cassette Beasts, you're trash. I'm actually not sorry, because you're trash. I'm sorry. Damn it.
You're trash.
Alright, Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes versus Chrono Trigger. I think Chrono Trigger was much more fun. I like the goof-ass shit in Metal Gear Solid a lot, don't get me wrong. But Chrono Trigger had a cohesive plot and characters I genuinely like. Whereas I do like Solid Snake, and he's sort of the only real character in the game. Meryl is just a woman. That's probably not fair to Meryl, but you're trash, Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. Sorry. You're not. I'm not sorry. Damn it. Damn it.
What'd you say about Meryl? Let's space out for a second.
I said, like, Meryl is mostly just a woman, is her character. Her character is that she's a woman and she's not like most girls. Remember when she literally said that? I feel more comfortable with a gun than a bra. Remember that?
And I'm not like most girls.
Fire Emblem versus Hitman 2016.
I got confused because there's like because there's also Meryl and Chrono Trigger.
Ah, I see. No, I was talking about Metal Gear Meryl.
I was like, I don't remember Meryl, and then you said gun, and I went, the other one.
Other one.
Because that's her name in Chrono Trigger too. Well, I mean, you can rename her technically, but the default name.
I'd forgotten. I think we did the thing where we spelled them all slightly weird.
Yeah, her name is spelled a little weird by default. It's spelled like more like Marl.
All right, Fire Emblem 7 versus Hitman 2016. Fire Emblem Hitman is much more fun, so Hitman's gonna take it for me. So sorry, Fire Emblem, you're trash. Next up, it is Pokemon Ranger versus Human Fall Flat. I think Human Fall Flat is a much more fun game. More like shit, man. Damn, Mole Guy. Damn. So yeah, Human Fall Flat's moving on. Sorry, Pokemon Ranger. Not sorry, you're trash. Damn it. I'm incapable of not being apologetic, Josh. I'm sorry.
Don't do it. Who are you apologizing to? The games can't hear you.
It's true. Hold on. Can I... you know what? That's not the one I meant to grab, but it's fine, I guess. Great Ace Attorney Adventures versus the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative. This one is sort of tough for me, but I think if I'm honest in my heart of hearts... I know. I think if I'm honest in my heart of hearts, I think I did have much more fun with the Great Ace Attorney Adventures.
It's pretty good. They only stumble by having the dumb genius character. Or the child one.
The child.
Herlock works. I like Herlock.
Herlock is great.
I mean, I hate him.
He's a total dumbass. It's the best.
He sucks a lot, but he's entertaining.
It's an abomination. That was from that. You're right. All right. Like a Dragon versus Pokemon White. That's an easy one for me. Like a Dragon is such a good game. So turn off Pokemon White. Okay. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney versus Jack Move. I think Ace Attorney is much better. I liked Jack Move. I think Ace Attorney is one of my favorite games, but you know. So, trash. Bye.
Trash.
You trash. These are going. For some reason, I feel like this round is easier than the first round was for me in a lot of ways.
You've already elucidated what your main points for each game are.
Yeah. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth versus Tales of Symphonia. I think Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is the much better JRPG of these two. Pokemon White got robbed. Pokemon White was the better playthrough. Maybe that's fair, Molagai, but you don't get to adjudicate this. I do. It's me, Austin.
Okay, Molagai. I also wanted to vote for Pokemon White, but we're going to end up with Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth versus that other Like a Dragon game, and then Steven's going to give it to Infinite Wealth.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. and it would have and Pokemon White wouldn't have beat that anyway. Anyway, yeah, Tales of Symphonia is a much worse.
I'm calling my shot like I'm Babe Ruth, baby.
We've got Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair versus Final Fantasy 3. Definitely Danganronpa for me, dog. Sorry, not sorry, Final Fantasy 3, you're trash. I know you weren't last round, but this time you are.
Listen,
that's how it goes.
What wasn't trash becomes trash, you know? And what is trash can unbecome trash. But, you know, it's hard. It's hard to do.
Trine 4 The Nightmare Prince versus Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Ace Attorney takes that one for me. I like the Trine games, but Ace Attorney is my favorite series. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you gonna do?
Explain how Trine is trash. The T in Trine stands for trash.
The R
fucking misspelled Trine.
The R stands for trash, which is what you get for playing it.
The I stands for
it's trash. Final Fantasy 1 versus...
No way that this isn't trash.
Final Fantasy 1 versus Judgment. I'm gonna give that to Judgment, obviously. It's been a fun walk down memory lane for all the art for this, too. Paranormosite, The Seven Mysteries of Honjo versus Chants of Sonar. Again, unfortunate, and I like both of these games a lot. I think what it's going to come down to is, like, the vibe I got. Not cool. Well, you know. I think what it's going to come down to is the vibe I got from both of these games, right? Chants of Sonar is a very straightforward puzzle game. Paranormosite is a very character-driven game. And I think, overall, I felt more playing Paranormosite. Chants of Sonar is definitely the better puzzle game of the two of these, but I think I liked the writing in Paranormosite so much that I'm going to give it the next round. So sorry, Chants of Sonar, you're trash. Not sorry, damn it.
I'm not sorry.
Josh can be not sorry for me.
I'm not sorry at all.
Let's see. There's nothing in that box. Is there supposed to be? No. Never mind. Okay. A Hat in Time versus Yakuza Kiwami. If I read make it past first round, no. I don't remember what it was up against, but it did not. And I've already passed it on the list, and I can't find it quickly, so... Oh, it was up against Ace Attorney. Yeah, that was never happening. Oh, no, sorry. It was up against Jack Move. That might have happened, but I liked it. Danganronpa... No, sorry. Hat in Time versus Yakuza Kiwami. I think overall, I think Kiwami was pretty good. I think I like A Hat in Time more. I have more fond memories of Hat in Time than I do of Kiwami. So we're going to give it to Kiwami. Or no, sorry, that would be wild. Based on what I just said. We're going to give it to Hat in Time. It's outrageous. It's unfair. Which box is that? No, not relevant. Final Fantasy VII versus Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Final Fantasy VII's so good, though. But Ghost Trick is one of my favorite games I've ever played. I'm gonna have to give this one to Ghost Trick. Just
That's ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
That's absolutely absurd.
Sorry, it's trash. I can't help you, Josh.
Over here, like, goofy ghost game or the best Final Fantasy ever made? Let me rack my brain on this one.
Did I miss one?
And you get to solve a murder mystery?
I did not miss one. Return of the Obra Dinn.
I'm gonna make my own
versus...
bracket with blackjack and hookers, and it's gonna be far more popular.
Probably. You're just better than me. Return of the Obra Dinn versus Final Fantasy IV. That's an easy Return of the Obra Dinn for me. Final Fantasy IV was very, very good. Return of the Obra Dinn is, again, one of the better games I've ever played.
I'm starting a conspiracy theory that Steven doesn't even like JRPGs.
The problem is that I like mystery games more. That's the real thing.
And yet the real mystery is why you suck so much.
Damn. You're right, though. All right. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin versus Golden Sun The Lost Age. This is the part where I'm glad Boko's not home yet. She works until 7. I won't have to deal with the consequences of this. Stranger of Paradise for me still.
You mean if you're not gonna be advancing fucking Final Fantasy, you can't then go advance Golden Sun.
Yeah. I can't help it. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite games, even if it's stupid, and bad. Chrono Trigger versus Hitman 2016. I think I'm gonna give this one to Chrono Trigger because it was very good. Chrono Trigger's a very good game. Hitman's also a very good game, but very different. Good in a different way.
Hitman's also a good game. Unfortunately, it's trash.
Unfortunately, it's trash is the problem. You know, the problem I'm having with it is that it's trash. All right, let's see here. Human Fall Flat versus Great Ace Attorney Adventures. More like Shitman 2016. Stranger of Paradise had the MILF, that's true. I mean, yeah, fair enough. I'm going to give this one to Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Overall, both games very fun. Human Fall Flat doesn't really have characters that engage me, so...
And it's trash.
At a certain point, it can't... At a certain point, being fun can't take it all the way. It's trash. This is going to get harder to do just based on my layering system over time. Yakuza Like a Dragon versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This one is tough for me. Because I love Ace Attorney so much. I don't think the first one... The first one is very cohesive, is the thing, right? It's the most cohesive of them because it is the first one. Oh shit, is Swissy here? Hey Swissy, what's up?
Apparently. I don't know. His boot hill ass hasn't said anything yet. Steven's doing a
tournament bracket of all the games I've finished on stream, and also Judgment, which is a game you finished.
Get this fucking shit, dude. They gave the W to Ghost Trick instead of Final Fantasy VII. I'm fucking irate. I know, right? They're like, oh, well, it's a great mystery game. It won't be a mystery why I murder them.
This is not, by the way, this is not how fucking brackets work.
No, listen, I've got an actual
this is just
bracket.
A tier list.
I've got an actual bracket, off screen. I do have a real bracket. This is a visual to make it not boring to look at for the stream.
They're advancing them. It is a bracket. Now, I mean, you can talk with Mo Guy about how they did their seating or whatever.
Completely
I've
random.
seen plenty of people do these. I've seen people do these on like TikTok all the time, where they're like, the big one I've seen is Anthony Patano do it with albums. It is fun. I do think it's fun because it makes you do like matchups that are interesting, like Ghost Trick versus Final Fantasy VII.
All right, Yakuza Like a Dragon versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, the first one. If an Ace Attorney game is going to make it farther in this bracket, I think it's going to be Great Ace Attorney. I don't think it's going to be the first one.
Do you like Great Ace Attorney more than the first?
I think I
Phoenix
do.
Wright attorney, huh?
I think I do.
That's fair. I might like it more.
I like the trilogy as a
So,
whole
you ever get
a
around to playing that
lot.
one?
No.
Will you?
Yeah, you gotta get on that.
No.
Unlikely at this point, I think.
You should join us on Great Ace Attorney 2 anyways, and just be confused.
That'd be really fucking funny.
It would be. I mean, there won't be
who's this guy?
that
I don't
many.
know. I imagine it'll explain a lot of stuff.
It'll recap everything. It'll be like, and then he died from like. Now, Steven, remind me. It was straight up a snake that killed that guy on the boat, right?
I think it was something that fell on his head while he was looking for the snake, if I remember right.
Oh, right, he was looking for the snake, and then he just got fucking plunked.
The
yeah,
boat,
they give you
the
like
boat
a cool
did a
mentor
bad,
guy,
the
and then
boat
kill
did a
him
bad move.
immediately.
Nice.
And it's like a
Bonked him to
locked
death.
room mystery.
The orangutan.
Do not bring up murders at the Rue Morgue right now. I can't handle
We're
that.
Can't do
on
it.
the bracket.
I would, if I could legally resurrect somebody.
The snake was red.
I would bring Edgar Allan Poe back and force him to explain to me why he wrote a murder mystery whose fucking end result was an orangutan did it. I want him to tell me,
I need
and then I'm
to
gonna
know.
beat him to death
Oh,
like
he
an
tripped
orangutan.
over a cat. Right, yes, that was it. Bonked his head too hard and he died from it.
Bro, what is the seeding? What the fuck?
We're at like almost. We're in like round. We're in the semifinals. No, quarterfinals right now. Or unless you're looking at the thing I posted in the fan Discord, which is actually the bracket.
Stranger of Paradise.
What the heck was that noise?
It was completely random, Swissy. I can't. I didn't do any intelligent seeding at all. I randomized it. Like a Dragon,
Yeah, I mean,
Infinite
I
Wealth
agree
versus
with the
Danganronpa
pure
2.
randomness for this, because like I don't know how you would seed it.
Alright,
Anyways,
I would have to sort them by genre, I think.
You would
and even that doesn't
would
work out equally because of I haven't done it perfectly.
I feel
on
like
purpose.
you would. Yeah, I feel like you'd have to do too much work. It's like usually with these sort of things, it's just like random. It's just like, do you like To Pimp a Butterfly more than My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? And you go, yeah, it's Kendrick.
Where
all
do
right?
you
We'll give it
rank?
Kendrick.
Where do you rank Pimp My Ride from CoolMathGames.com?
I don't know. So
You really glommed onto the word pimp in there, huh?
Infinite Wealth is better than Danganronpa 2, easy.
I already called what the finals are gonna be. I think, unless the bracket doesn't work out the way I think.
Stranger of Paradise.
But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be right, Swissy. No, the winner's going to be Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth because Steven has called it their favorite game ever like 4 times. And they most recently
True.
played that one.
True. You didn't even play Judgment.
Yeah. I think I do like Judgment more. I think I did like the overall of Judgment. Yeah, no, listen.
It's Swissy
You
Bicycle.
finished it, but it was finished. It was finished on my channel.
This was the
so it's
bicycle
in.
one, right?
It's
I would
in.
also rate
Or was
it
this the
above
Cum Wizard?
most
I think-
Ace Attorney games.
I think I liked it more than Ace
It
Attorney
was
3.
Cum Wizard.
I do like Ace Attorney.
Hell
3.
yeah.
No, Cum Wizard was
No,
Yakuza
Cum Wizard
0.
was Yakuza.
It was
Yeah.
Yakuza 0,
Damn.
I believe.
Was this bicycle? What funny thing did I prompt in this one?
That was Judgment.
That's
But
the only way I
Judgment
can
was
tell 'em
bicycles,
apart.
I
Honestly,
believe.
if you had put more time into this, it would be awesome if you had like the funniest clip from each game to stack them up against each other.
Oh, maybe I'll do that next year.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I've been
That
thinking about
should be
like we could
fun.
do this again.
As like a way to introduce them?
Yeah. Now, Cum Wizard is completely unrelated from Yakuza's lore, but you know.
That's the thing, right? But yeah, I think I am gonna give this
But
one
it
to
was
Judgment.
funny.
It was funny. I
Yeah,
still
just
think
do a
about
ranking
it.
of the funniest clips in anime history, and you will see that Swissy's Dark Souls is number 1.
Oh, most certainly. That'd be another fun. That'd be a fun bit to do too. Thanks for the ideas. Paranormacite versus A Hat in Time.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
They're gonna
Don't do it.
I
They're
think.
gonna. One of them is a murder mystery, and the other is not Swissy.
I had so much fun in Hat in Time.
Yeah,
Don't
no.
you do it.
Hat in Time is like the best
Swissy.
platform I've ever played. Is the thing.
They're
I
gonna
think-
do it.
I
You have
think.
to be prepared.
Have you played other platformers?
Yeah. I played like most Mario games. I've played. Yeah, most Mario games. I've never played Banjo-Kazooie. I should do those sometime.
I'm not a collectathon guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Huh.
I
never
think I
figured it
will.
out.
I
There
think I'll
was
give
one
this
level
one
in
a
Hat in Time that I despised, and it
Was
was
it
the
the
fucking
boat?
cruise. Yeah,
hat.
that shit killed me.
All right, I think I am gonna give this one to Hat in Time. So we'll do.
Oh God,
Oh wow, an upset to the presses.
major upset.
And now
Major pause.
a choice that will hurt me. I don't know.
Well,
I genuinely don't know.
I don't have any stake in this one.
Phantom.
I mean,
Phantom
I
Detective
only
versus
I've
Return to
only
the Obra
seen one of these two, so
Was
I'm throwing it
Obra
to
Dinn
my
the one where
boy
you, like,
Obra
pause
Dinn.
time?
Yeah,
I,
well, you
like-
go back in time.
Yeah.
You have a magic pocket watch, and you have to solve what happened to the Obra Dinn.
yeah.
Why
there's
are you
a lot of
offering yourself in the art on the left one?
it's the funny pose. It's the funny
Oh,
it's
I
the
see.
funny ghost trick pose that he does. At the beginning of
Oh, it's
Ghost
about
Trick, the
pegging?
character that you're playing dies, and this is the pose that his body is in when he gets shot and dies.
Unfortunate. Hey,
And this-
Steven, I
and
get
this
shot
is
and
the
die in
art-
my home. If I die in my home at all, and you find me like this, push me down, like over, just like tilt me, let no one else see.
I'll just push you to the side. No, he gets shot and falls into this pose, and the recently Capcom did their like 25-year anniversary or whatever artwork. It was probably more than that, but some anniversary artwork, and the main character from Ghost Trick is on it doing this pose. Just like sort of hidden in the back. It's the only thing from the game. It's hopefully they make another one someday. I think I will give it to Return of the Obra Dinn though. It's just a Return of the Obra Dinn made me feel so fucking smart and cool. When I figured out
Was
the
there
shit.
a different Obra Dinn game, or did they just call it Return of the Obra Dinn for no reason?
Yeah,
It's
that was
about the boat. The boat returns in
the
the,
boat
game.
back, yeah.
The Obra Dinn is a boat that disappeared and then
I see.
appeared randomly, and you're like an insurance adjuster.
Oh, it's not like
that has
Return
to
of
go.
the Mummy.
Yes.
No.
No.
Okay.
You play the game as an
Yes.
insurance adjuster, which is pretty funny.
I see.
It's a funny conceit.
All right.
I want a cyberpunk game where you're where you're like an insurance adjuster, or like a repo guy, and you have to like take people's organs that they haven't. There's a movie like this,
Oh my
I think,
God.
because
Uh,
you didn't pay for that cyber kidney.
Oh.
So, Stranger of Paradise versus Chrono Trigger. This,
Don't you do it?
This hurts me.
Don't you
But
fucking do it?
I think
Don't
Chrono
you
Trigger
fucking-
is objectively a much better game.
Oh, thank God.
And I can't pretend I didn't have a good time with it, right? Like, Stranger of Paradise is very fun. I like it a lot. I've liked it more than most of the other things we've listed so far, right? But I think Chrono Trigger is a much better game, and I did like it quite a bit. So,
Chrono Trigger is really good.
Bless up.
I just tried to copy and
Stranger
paste
of
from the wrong
Paradise was
thing.
great until the final boss fucking sucked.
What do you mean? I kicked his ass. It was so easy.
Good for you. And then they made the DLC, so you had to like grind the main game. so you could actually play
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like that, and I get it. I'm being honest. I don't like it either, but I did like the game enough that I did it. So,
Yeah,
Yakuza Like a
did.
Dragon versus the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. I think I liked Ace Attorney
Mhm.
more.
I was gonna say you gotta give this one to Ace Attorney, sure.
I think I do, yes. Because Like a Dragon was very good.
Remember
but
that,
Infinite Wealth
remember
is
that
just
funny
better in every
leprechaun
way.
man?
Yes,
What
I
a
do.
guy. He burns to
He
death.
gets burned to fucking death. It's crazy.
Ripperino.
All right, we're in the bottom bracket now. I'm gonna have a hard time finding this. It's
Huh.
Infinite Wealth versus. Okay, it's lower. Nope, that's Trine 4, which should be turned off.
Judgment.
Judgment. I can't see it in my layers because it's only text. I don't have any art for this one, so it's hard to spot. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth versus.
Well, I
Judgment.
know which one.
Yeah, I mean,
It's gonna win here.
It's gonna be Infinite Wealth for me. I think Judgment.
It's
was
gonna
very
be Like
good.
a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
The best game of all time.
It's got more going on. And then last of the quarterfinals, I think it's quarterfinals. This is going to be A Hat in Time versus Return of the Obra Dinn.
All right,
Great
Peter Hat in
Ace
time. You had a good run.
Yeah, I
You
think
really tore ass those last couple brackets. But you're trash. Unfortunately, you're trash.
Unfortunately,
now.
you're trash now is the problem. Hat in time. I'm sorry. All right. So we're down to our final 4.
Is the final countdown.
And I have to find things because of the way I've labeled these. All right. Did you ever do the Hat in Time DLC? We did one of them. We never finished Yakuza Metro.
Yeah.
I think we
I didn't
started
really
it.
care for the DLC, to be honest.
All right, it's going to be Chrono Trigger versus the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. I don't... Because I'm like, the conceit of this is these are very different games, obviously, right? But which one do I like more? I think...
This is still very easy for me.
I think it's going to be Great Ace Attorney for me.
Wow, wrong. Wow. Not wrong.
R.I.P.
I'm sorry, Josh.
Goodbye, Chrono Trigger. I won't say it for Chrono Trigger. No one can make me.
No one can make me say it. And then I'm gonna have to soul search this one because I genuinely think I might have, like, as much as I loved Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, I think I genuinely liked Return of the Obra Dinn more. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, this was probably up there with the best JRPGs I've ever played. I would put it on Chrono Trigger level. Return of the Obra Dinn is so fucking good. In a true upset, I think I am gonna have to give it to Obra Dinn. If I'm being honest.
My God,
with myself.
everyone's brackets are ruined. The perfect bracket will not be found.
This is ruined.
If I'm being honest with
But what
myself,
if
I think I've gotta.
What if I?
Or to find a new bracket.
Which would make the final.
And disguise it as my own.
The Great Ace Attorney versus the Return of the Obra Dinn.
This is really where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Thinking real hard.
Not hard enough, though.
Okay, I mean, what would you do, motherfucker?
Let's
let's see you make a bracket.
These, so I don't know.
Let's see you make a fucking bracket
Maybe
of all the
I
games
will.
you've played. How high would GTA RP score?
It'd be pretty high. I've had a good time with it.
Does that count as a game?
I mean, GTA counts.
I guess.
Remember Sherlock?
Yeah,
I
but
do
you're
remember
not playing it
Sherlock.
for the GTA part, right? Are you playing it for the RP aspects?
I mean, kind of, but it's still GTA at the end of the day.
Remember
Yes.
Osugi?
It just feels weird. I'm trying to think of a good analogy.
I'm having a real Dark Night of the Soul here thinking about this. Because Great Ace Attorney Adventures is so good and it has characters and stuff. And Return of the
It
Obra
does
Dinn
have
is one
characters.
is
You can't
one
fault it for that.
and Return of the Obra Dinn has no character. Well, it does have characters. There's Captain who goes
I think
insane.
you'll find most games have characters.
That's not
'Cause-
true. Sometimes they don't.
The difference is here's the analogy. The difference is like it's like comparing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition versus Baldur's Gate 3. One's like a video game, and the other one's just like a system you use to interact with other humans.
True.
Yeah.
That's why I think it would be weird to put that on the same bracket. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if like everything was the same, but you're like the membrane you interacted with your RP server was like Saints Row the Third, I don't feel like that would change it a ton.
Yeah.
Like that's not the core part, I think. Is my guess anyways. I should make a roguelite bracket.
That'd be pretty sick. Brackets are
Ooh.
fun.
I won't, because no one deserves my content.
I mean, I feel like Gunfire and Risk of Rain top it, right?
Yeah, currently. The problem is
It changes.
Yeah.
the problem is that like it's gonna be hard figuring out something that I like more than Risk of Rain 2.
Yeah. And see, I went
That
into
game's
this
kinda got
thinking
it all.
I went into this thinking
Kind
it
of
would
just
probably be
depends.
Infinite Wealth in the finale, but Then I remembered that I did in fact like Obra Dinn quite a bit. Ah, man, this is tough. I think... Okay, these games are both very fun and very good mysteries, and I had great aha moments in both of them.
And yet one of them is trash.
And one of them is trash. I think overall, plot-wise, because Return of the Obra Dinn does have a plot, so I can compare those. I can compare those things.
Nice.
I think overall, plot-wise, I liked the Great Ace Attorney more. So sorry, Obra Dinn, you did very good, but unfortunately for you, you are trash. So die forever. Goodbye. Which makes the Great Ace Attorney Adventures the best game I've ever streamed. And Josh was there for it, so that makes him adjacent. So good for Josh.
That was the vampire,
Well timed.
man. But he's not a vampire.
He's not a vampire, guys. It is
Illegally
law
not a vampire.
until next year when I relitigate this.
I just still can't believe they shot the guy that I gave the funny voice to, like, immediately.
I know. That poor man.
He was...
They shot
that
him
guy was
dead.
great. And
It's like when I gave Burger King foot lettuce to fucking Maya Fey or whatever, Mia Fey.
I mean, that was probably for the best in the end of the day, because then you got to do the whole, like,
But it is.
anytime she possesses
thing.
someone,
Yeah, it is.
you do the burger foot lettuce. So no,
Yeah,
my guy's
yeah.
just dead is the thing. There aren't ghosts in Great Ace Attorney so far.
Wow, damn shame.
He's just dead.
Instead of
Real
ghosts,
missed
we have
opportunity.
we have
genius child that makes a device that makes cat doors. I hate her.
instead of ghosts, we have racism.
Okay.
True. My Nipponese friend.
He just keeps saying it. All right.
It's like I'm watching Shogun right now, and the guy keeps saying the Japans. And I don't think that that's racist, but it feels
it
bad.
doesn't feel good to say
When
or
the
hear.
one English guy is like, I'm just taking the Japans. It's okay. He gets dunked on a lot because he doesn't know anything. It's funny.
All right. Well, having litigated that, I think it's time for dinner. So, Great Ace Attorney Adventures is the best game I've ever streamed. Until next
That's
year, when
wrong,
maybe
Bucko.
it isn't.
I'm using the
That's
kitchen
where you're
already.
wrong,
Oh
Bucko.
shit! All right. Have a good
Oh,
have a
shit.
good one. We'll be back whenever Boko gets home for 13 Sentinels. Bye bye.
So,